Hey y'all, welcome back to Roll and Pin Recipes. Today we are going to make some homemade hoagie rolls. I've got a 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons of water here. We're gonna add 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast to the water. That is 1 packet's worth if you have a packet. 2 1/4. I keep that in my freezer to keep it good. And we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. It's a lot. 1 and 2. We're going to mix this together. This one's covered in yeast, so we're just going to use that one. The clumps don't usually want to unclump, so just stir it around. And we'll let that rest about 5 to 10 minutes, and it should be active and bubbly. While we wait for the yeast mixture to activate, we're going to add 2 cups of bread flour. I shake it like this to get it nice and airy, not too much. I could have weighed all this, but I didn't. We're going to start with 2 cups of bread flour. All right, y'all, this yeast is very yeasty. It is active for sure. We're going to pour this into our 2 cups of bread flour, mix it up for a few minutes, and we'll proceed to the next steps. It's not as cold anymore, so these breads will be easier to rise. It was so cold a couple months ago and weeks ago, my bread would not rise. All right, mix it up. All right, y'all, I forgot to add the rest of the water, so we're gonna add the remaining cup of water, and now we mix it up. Alright, y'all, we've got more flour to add. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt here and 1 more cup of flour. Oh boy. Mix that up. Alright, y'all, depending on the humidity, you need to add more water. I'm going to add a tablespoon more. We can add up to a 1/4 cup. We'll mix that back because it is very dry. I don't like how the recipe is laid out because now my dough ball is wet and just sliming up my bowl, spinning in circles. It's not kneading at all. So this is frustrating. And I need to add 1/2 to a whole cup more flour. So we're going to add that and see if it unsticks it. It just could have been laid out way better, the recipe and stuff. There's 2 tablespoons extra. A little more flour. It's starting to knead a little bit now. Alright, y'all, I kind of softened my butter in the microwave. A little bit of it is melted, but it's soft. And I've never heard of slack in a dough. Like, the only time I've heard slack, I think, is in fishing. Okay, so I think I missed that step. So I'm just going to add in some butter. This is 4 tablespoons. And we're gonna slowly mix this in until it forms a ball like it's in now. It'll kind of just rub everywhere, which is what the water was doing when I had to add extra. So we'll see what happens. Gotta scrape it down. Hoping it'll incorporate without me adding flour, even though on this last cup, I've only added about a 1/4 of it. Alright, y'all, it's starting to pull apart, so I'm gonna add the rest of the butter. Keep it going. Alright, y'all, it's starting to pile back up, but it's also starting to pull apart, which is what I want to see because it's finally incorporating together. So I'm just sliding this off the dough hook, at least down, so it can incorporate better. And we'll keep going. I'm gonna drop it and clear the hook off, actually, because I think it will incorporate better. It's almost done. It's a beautiful dough. There we go. You can also scrape the sides a little bit. Alrighty. Alright, y'all. I think it's done. I need to get it off the dough hook. It starts creeping up there, and then you want to just get it off. Looks pretty good. Cleared up the sides pretty good. So I think we're good to go. Nice. Okay. Alright, y'all. The sides are pretty good. If I need to do a couple little kneads on it, I will. It's a little sticky at the bottom. Should have got my hands wet. It's a little soft and sticky, but it's actually very workable and moist if I dare. Actually, just that little bit of kneading and stretch and folds, it feels different already. So you can tell it's a little sticky. All right, we need to let this double for about an hour. It's about 77 degrees here on my counter. I've got a little meter. The dogs are making all sorts of noise. All right, just that little bit of work, we're already in better shape. Oh, and I just wanted to let y'all know, just a note, I do not buy unsalted butter, and I added the full teaspoon of butter. Just a note that my family prefers. We don't buy unsalted. All right, y'all, we're gonna let this bad boy double. I'm gonna cover it and set it in a warm spot, the microwave, for about an hour, and we'll check on it till it doubles. All right, y'all, this dough has been rising for about an hour, a little over. Punch it down. Nice. It's very soft and airy. We're going to try to not flour. And I'm going to take a second to get all this dough out of the bowl. The recipe says 4 to 8, so we are going to try 6. Y'all, we need to get these bad boys in the oven. This is a smaller sheet, but I'm gonna bake them both at the same time. This is the one that we finished first. The dough is very buttery and soft. Can just put this one in. Kind of want to score them. Let me find my little razor here. And it says don't overproof them or they'll fall flat. So this one's a little less than the first one. So we'll see. And I did not weigh this. So also, I should have just put them on a sheet anyway, but it's a little large for, I think it should be fine. It's okay. These are a little tight on there, but that's okay. We're just gonna use this blade, score them right down the center. It's so soft and buttery. Then we need to put these in, I think, for 16 to 25 minutes. These aren't going to be perfect, but they're homemade for my family. And it's getting a weird pinch, so hopefully that'll go away. 16 to 23 minutes or until 190 internal. All right, y'all, put them in. I don't even know if this will fit now. We'll make it fit. They can't go next to each other, but they might fit in front. Uh-oh, it's pushing it, y'all. If I had a second rack, we might just have to squish them in there. Okay, they're in. I'm gonna put a timer. I've been doing the dishes. I think it's been about 10 minutes. I am going to try to rotate these. Oh, wow. They smell really good. They don't look exactly how I wanted them to, but that's okay. Do a little transfer now. Really soft. We can just set this one on that one now and it'll be just fine. And another 6 or more minutes. They're still really soft. All right, y'all, I lost a little bit track of time, so we're going to check on these. We want them to be, I think, 190 to 210 is what dough should be. Ooh, they didn't split how I would want. Turn it on first. Oh yeah, I think they're done. They're beautiful. Oh yeah, I think they could have been better, but they're good. And I didn't brush the tops with anything. I just threw them in. You can do an egg wash, egg white, egg yolk, that with water, that with milk, butter. There's so many options, but these are pretty cute. Going to grab this little tray and transfer them over. Adorable. Very soft, hot, really soft. Definitely not even in size, but got a little weight to them too. All right, y'all, we'll let those cool off. When they're cool, we'll make something delicious with them. Very excited. Both of those trays worked out very well. They're super cute. Good color on there. Still very soft. I baked them. They were in there for about 21 minutes or so, so perfect. All right, y'all, we've got the best two on top. They look delicious. First time. And they came out looking pretty good. You can kind of see the texture here. They're very cold right now because they've been cooling. So we're gonna slice one open and see what we can make. All right, y'all. Growing up, my husband enjoyed, I'm gonna do the two wonkiest shapes if he wants to. Need to grab a knife from our knife roll. It's a bag of knives. How nice. Alrighty, we're just gonna cut this. I hope these are good. Not bad. Yeasty. We cut these all the way through. kind of like a manwich pizza. So we're going to put manwich on this, on a piece of bread, carefully. Sloppy Joe pizza, kind of. My wrist is hurting today. While I was cooking up a bunch of things in the kitchen, my wrist is just not having fun. Sharp pains going through. But we need to feed the fam, y'all. Alrighty. I pulled this manwich out of the freezer. I already had it made because if I have leftovers, they usually go into the freezer. Okay, that's a pretty good layer there. Now we'll top it with some shredded cheese. I just shredded this and it melts so nice that we don't need a ton on there. Plus, this is all I have at the moment. We need to get more. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna bake it in the oven for 10 minutes, maybe? Probably 5 to 15 minutes. We'll see. They turn out crispy and delicious. He loves them. I might just prefer a manwich sandwich. All right, y'all, the family's getting fed. I need to cut this first. Where's my knife? Girl, I know those are for you. You just gotta wait. All right, y'all. These are a little longer than I've done before. Okay. Cut them diagonal. Gotta make it cute, y'all. Homemade rolls, hoagie buns, hoagie rolls. Simple, quick, and easy dinner. Feed your family with homemade bread. Yes, please. All right, y'all, here we have it. The dogs are just loud as can be right now. All right, y'all, here we have it. Can see the nice fluffiness on those buns. Cute little manwich sandwich, y'all, or manwich pizza. Bon appetit. These rolls turned out amazing. We will be making them again. Perfect size for a good old sandwich. Bon appetit. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, giving this video a like, and letting us know what you think. We appreciate y'all a ton and hope you enjoy. Let us know what you think down below. Subscribe for more. Peace out, y'all.